dynasty and the land are both ever glorious by the grace of the Lord. Pray Krishna.
Text 27. Undoubtedly, it is wonderful that Dwaraka has defeated the glories of the heavenly planets and has enhanced the celebrity of the earth. The inhabitants of Dwaraka are always seeing the soul of all living beings, Krishna, in his loving feature. He glances at them and favors them with sweet smiles. The heavenly planets are inhabited by demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, and Vayu, and the pious souls reach there after performance of many virtuous acts on earth. Modern scientists agree that the timing arrangement in higher planetary system is different than of the Earth. Thus, it is understood from the revealed scriptures that the duration of life there is 10,000 years by our calculation. 6 months on the earth is equal to 1 day on the heavenly planets. Facilities of enjoyment are also similarly enhanced, and the beauty of the inhabitants is legendary. Common men on the earth are very much fond of visiting the heavenly planets because they have heard the comforts of life are far greater than on the earth. They are now trying to reach the moon by spacecraft. The heavenly planets are more celebrated than the earth. But the celebrity of earth has defeated that of the heavenly planets because of Dwaraka. Sri Krishna reigned as king. 3 places, namely Vrindavana, Mathura, and Dwaraka, are more important than the famous planets within the universe. These places are perpetually sanctified because whenever the Lord descends on earth, he displays his transcendental activities, particularly in these 3 places. They are perpetually the holy lands of the Lord, and the inhabitants still take advantages of the holy places, even though the Lord is now out of their sight. The Lord is the soul of all living beings, and he desires always to have all the living beings in their swarupa, in a constitutional position to participate in transcendental life in his association. His attractive features and sweet smiles go deep into the heart of everyone, and once it is so done, the living beings is admitted into the kingdom of God from which no one returns. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. The heavenly planets may be very famous for offering better facilities of material enjoyment, but as we learn from Bhagavad Gita 9.20 and 21, one has to come back again on the earth planet as soon as the acquired virtue is finished. Dwaraka is certainly more important than the heavenly planets because whoever has been favored with the smiling glance of the Lord shall never come back again to this rotten earth, which is certified by the Lord himself as a place of misery. Not only this earth, but also all the planets of the universes are places of misery because in none of the planets within the universe is there eternal life, eternal bliss, and eternal knowledge. Any person engaged in the devotional service of the Lord is recommended to live in one of the above mentioned 3 places, namely Dwaraka, Mathura, and Vrindavana. Because devotional service in these 3 places is magnified, those who go there to follow the principles in terms of instructions imparted in the revealed scriptures surely achieve the same result as obtained during the presence of Lord Sri Krishna. His abode and he himself are identical, and a pure devotee under the guidance of another experienced devotee can obtain all the results even at present. Right. Text 28 continue.
Text 28. O friends, just think of his wives, whose hands he has accepted, how they must have undergone both bath, fire sacrifices, and perfect worship of the Lord of the universe, to constantly relish now the nectar from his lips by kissing. The damsels of Brajbhumi would often faint just by expecting such favors. Purport. Religious rites prescribed in the scriptures are meant to purify the mundane qualities of the conditioned souls to enable them to the gradually promoted to the stage of rendering transcendental service unto the Supreme Lord. Attainment of this stage of pure spiritual life is the highest perfection, and this stage is called Svarupa, or the factual identity of living being. Liberation means renovation of this stage of Svarupa. In that perfect stage of Svarupa, the living being is established in 5 phases of loving service, one of which is the stage of Madhurya Rasa, or the humor of conjugal love. The Lord is always perfect in himself, and thus he has no hankering for himself. He, however, becomes a master, a friend, a son, or a husband to fulfill the intense love of the devotees concerned. Herein, 2 classes of devotees of the Lord are mentioned in the stage of conjugal love. One is Savkriya and the other is Prakriya. Both of them are conjugal love with the personality of Godhead, Krishna. The queen of Dwarka were Swakiya, or duly married wives, but the damsels of Braja were young friends of Lord while he was unmarried. The Lord stayed at Vrindavan till the age of 16, and his friendly relation with the neighboring girls were in terms of Prakya. These girls, as well as the queens, underwent severe penances by taking vows, bathing, and offering sacrifices in the fire, as prescribed in the scripture. The rites, as they are not an end in themselves, nor are fruitive action, culture of knowledge, or perfection in mystic powers ends in themselves. They are all means to attain to the highest stage of Swarupa, to render constitutional transcendental service to the Lord. Each and every living being has his individual position in one of the above mentioned 5 different kinds of reciprocity means with the Lord. And in one's pure spiritual form of Swarupa, the relation becomes manifest without mundane affinity. The kissing of Lord, either by his wives or his young girlfriends who aspire to have the Lord as their fiancé, is not of any mundane, perverted quality. Had such things been mundane, a liberated soul like Shukdev would not have been taken the trouble to relish them. Nor would Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have been inclined to participate in those subjects after renouncing worldly life. The stage is earned after many lives of penances.
Text 29. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The children of these ladies are Pradyumna, Samba, Amba, etc. Ladies are like Rukmini, Satyabhama and Jambavati were forcibly taken away by him from their Swayambara ceremonies after he defeated many powerful kings headed by Shishupala. And other ladies were also forcibly taken away by him after he killed Bhaumasura and thousands of his assistants. All of these ladies are glorious. Purport. Exceptionally qualified daughters of powerful kings were allowed to make a choice of their own bridegrooms in open competition, and such ceremonies were called Swayambara, or selection of the bridegroom. Because the Swayambara was an open competition between the rival and valiant princes, such princes were invited by the father of the princess, and usually there were regular fights between the invited princely order in his sporting spirit. But it is so happened that sometimes the belligerent princes were killed in such marriage fighting, and the victorious prince was offered the trophy princess for whom so many princes died. Rukmini, the principal queen of Lord Krishna, was the daughter of King of Vidarbha, who wished that his qualified, beautiful daughter be given away to Lord Krishna. But her elder brother wanted her to be given away to King Shishupala, who happened to be the cousin of Krishna. So So there was open competition, and as usual, Lord Krishna emerged successful after harassing Sasupala and other princes by his unrivaled prowess. Rukmini had 10 sons like Pradyumna. There were other queens also taken away by Lord Krishna in similar way. Full description of this beautiful booty of Lord Krishna will be given in the canto. There were 16,100 beautiful girls who were daughters of many kings and forcibly stolen by Bhaumasura, who kept them in captive for his carnal desire. These girls prayed piteously to Lord Krishna for their deliverance, and the merciful Lord, covered by the fervent prayer, released them all by fighting and killing Bhaumasura. All these captive princesses were then accepted by the Lord as his wives, although in the estimation of society they were all fallen girls. The all-powerful Lord Krishna accepted the humble prayers of these girls and married them with adoration of queens. So altogether Lord Krishna has 16,108 queens at Dwaraka, and in each of them he got 10 children. And all these children grew up, and each had as many children as the father. The aggregate of the family numbered in the millions. Hare Krishna.
And after his grandchildren became like grandparents also, he was 60.
एता परम स्त्रीत्वा अपस्ता पक्ष निरस्त शौचम लद साधुक कुर्वते यासां बृहत् पुष्कर लोचन पतित न जात्वा पयित्वा अकृत्वेभिः हृदि प्रशांत. Translation. All these women auspiciously glorified their lives despite their being without individuality and without purity. Their husband, the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead, never left them alone at home. He always pleased their hearts by making valuable presentations. Purport. The devotees of the Lord are purified souls. As soon as the devotees surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord sincerely, the Lord accepts them, and thus the devotees at once become free from all material contaminations. Such devotees are above the three modes of material nature. There is no bodily disqualification of a devotee, just as there is no qualitative difference between the Ganges water and the filthy drained water when they are amalgamated. Women, merchants and laborers are not very intelligent, and thus it is very difficult for them to understand the signs of God or to be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. They are more materialistic, and less than them are the Kiratas, Hunas, Andhras, Pulindas, Polkasas, Abiras, Kankas, Yavanas, Kasas, etc. But all of them can be delivered if they are properly engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. By engagement in the service of the Lord, the designative disqualifications are removed, and as pure souls, they become eligible to enter into the kingdom of God. The fallen girls under the clutches of Bhaumasura sincerely prayed to Lord Sri Krishna for their deliverance, and their sincerity of purpose made them at once pure by virtue of devotion. The Lord therefore accepted them as his wives, and thus their lives became glorified. Such auspicious glorification was still more glorified when the Lord played with them as the most devoted husband. The Lord used to live with his 16,108 wives constantly. He expanded himself into 16,108 plenary portions, and each and every one of them was the Lord himself without deviation from the original personality. The Shruti mantra affirms that the Lord can expand himself into many. As husband of so many wives, he pleased them all with presentations, even at a costly endeavor. He bought the Parijata plant from heaven and implanted it at the place of Satyabhama, one of the principal queens. If therefore anyone desires the Lord to become one's husband, the Lord fulfills such desires in full. Hare Krishna. 10, 1:10:31. एवं विदागदं किनां सा गिरा पुरयोषितां निरीक्षणेनाभिनन्दन् सा स्मितेन ययौ हरिः. Translation quoted by Divine Grace. While the lady of the capital was greeting him and talking in this way, the Lord smilingly accepted their good greetings and casting the grace of his glance over, he departed from the city. That is it.
Text 32. अजातशत्रु प्रतानं गोपीतयं वधूद्वेषः परेभ्यः संकीर्ता स्नेहान् प्रयोक्तचतुरङ्गिनी. Translation. Maharaja Yudhishthira, although no one's enemy, engaged 4 divisions of defense: horse, elephant, chariot, and army to accompany the Lord Krishna, the enemy of Asura's demons. The Maharaja did this because of the enemy and also out of the affection for the Lord. Natural defensive measures are horses and elephants combined with chariots and men. Horses and elephants are trained to move to any part of these hills or forests and plains. The charioteers could fight with many horses and elephants by the strength of powerful arrows, even up to the standard of the Brahmastra, similar to modern atomic weapons. Maharaja Yudhishthira knew well that Krishna is everyone's friend and well-wisher, and yet there were Asuras who were by nature envious of the Lord. So out of the fear of the attack from others and out of the affection also, he engaged all varieties of defensive forces as bodyguards of Lord Krishna. If required, Lord Krishna himself was sufficient to defend himself from the attack of others who counted the Lord as their enemy. But still, he accepted all the arrangement made by the Maharaja Yudhishthira because he could not obey the king, who was his elder cousin. The Lord plays the part of the subordinate in his transcendental sporting, and thus sometimes he puts himself in the game of the Yashodamata for his protection in his so-called helplessness of childhood. That is the transcendental Leela or the pastime of the Lord. The basic principle for all the transcendental exchanges between the Lord and his devotees is exhibited to enjoy the transcendental bliss for which there is no comparison, even up to the level of Brahmananda.
His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu told in Ramayana when he came, right, that why Lord Ramachandra needs so many Vanaras to fight Ravana. Sita Mata, when she was playing with a small tennis ball, with her left hand she lifted the Shiva Dhanush and put it down. You really think that she needs an army to fight Ravana? She could throw him to another planet probably with her left hand. And then why he gives our needs, all these Vanaras, is actually to give us seva. So all of them got service and all of them got delivered. So Lord really needs us to make chappal bowl and put to him. Now it is opportunity for us. He is also happy with Patra Pushpa Phalam Toya. But in the same purpose, Srila Prabhupada explains That is his expectation. But what is your love? Right? So, the Lord is so nice. He doesn't need all this protection like in Srila Prabhupada tells. But he accepts out of love. For Maharaj Yudhishthira. So nice. Srila Prabhupada is taking us into Dwaraka and making us accompany Lord Krishna to Dwaraka from Hastinapur. Yes, let's read on. Why Prabhuji comes. Yes. 33 Prabhuji.
Text 33. Ata Durga Jatan Sauri Kaurava Virahata Tura Sannivatraya Tradam Snigdhan Prayata Swanagarim Priya. Translation by His Divine S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Out of profound affection for Lord Krishna, the Pandavas, who were of the Kuru dynasty, accompanied him a considerable distance to see him off. They were overwhelmed with the thought of future separation. The Lord, however, persuaded them to return home, and he proceeded towards Dwaraka with his dear companions.
Hare Krishna. 34, 35. Kuru Jangala Panchala Surasena Sayamuna Brahmavatartam Kurukshetram Matsyan Sarasvatanatha Marudanman Adhikarmaya Savvira Virayo Param Anathan Bhargavo Bhagat Chiranta Vaho Manadvivo. Translation purport by His Divine Grace from Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Savanna, the Lord then proceeded towards Kurujangala, Panchala, Surasena, the land on the bank of the river Yamuna, Brahmavarta, Kurukshetra, Matsya, Saraswata, the province of the desert, and the land of scanty water. After crossing this province, he gradually reached the Sauvira and Abhira provinces. Then rest of these reached Dwaraka at last. Purport: the provinces passed over by the Lord in those days were differently named, but the direction given is sufficient to indicate that he travelled through Delhi, Punjab, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Saurashtra and Gujarat, and at last reached his home province at Dwaraka. We do not gain any profit simply by researching the analogous provinces of those days up to now. But it appears that the desert of Rajasthan and the provinces of sanitary water like Madhya Pradesh were present even 5,000 years ago. The theory of soil experts that the desert developed in recent years is not supported by the statements of Bhagavatam. We may leave the matter for expert geologists to research because the changing universe has different phases of geological development. We are satisfied that the Lord has now reached his own province, Dwaraka Dham, from the Guru provinces. Kurukshetra continues to exist since the Vedic age, and it is sheer foolishness when interpreters ignore or deny the existence of Kurukshetra. Hare Krishna.
One take 36. Tatra tatra tatratyane hari pratyudyatal hanama sayam veje disham paschat gavishnuga gatastada. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. On his journey through these provinces, he has welcomed, worshipped and given various presentations. In the evening, in all places, the Lord suspended his journey to perform evening rites. This was regularly observed after sunset. Purport: it is said here that the Lord observed the religious principles regularly while he was on the journey. There are certain philosophical speculations that even the Lord is under the obligations of routine action. But actually, this is not the case. He does not depend on the action of any good or bad work. Since the Lord is absolute, everything done by him is good for everyone. But when he descends to the earth, he acts for the protection of the devotees and for the annihilation of the impious non-devotees. Although he has no obligatory duty, still he he does everything so that others may follow. That is the way of factual teaching. One must act properly himself and teach the same to others. Otherwise, no one will accept one's blind teaching. He is himself the awarder of routine results. He is self-sufficient and yet he acts according to the rulings of the revealed scripture in order to teach us the process. If he does not do so, the common man may go wrong. But in the advanced stage, when one can understand the transcendental nature of the Lord, one does not try to imitate him. This is not possible. The Lord in human society does what is the duty of everyone. But sometimes he does something extraordinary and not to be imitated by the living being. His acts of evening prayer, as stated herein, must be followed by the living being. But it is not possible to follow his mountain lifting or dancing with the gopis. One cannot imitate the sun, which can exhaust water even from a filthy place. The most powerful can do something which is all good. But our imitation of such acts will put us into endless difficulty. Therefore, in all actions, the experienced guide, the spiritual master, who is the manifested mercy of the Lord, should always be consulted, and the path of progress will be assured. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka.
Krishna chapter 11. Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwarka. Text 1. Sutta Uvacha. Anartan sa upaprajya Shuddhan Janapadan Swagam Dharmo Dharvaram Tesham Vishadam Shamayan Nigam. Translation. Purport Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Sutta Goswami said, upon reaching the border of its most prosperous metropolis known as the country of the Anartha Dwarka, the Lord sounded his auspicious counsel, heralding his arrival and apparently pacifying the dejection of the inhabitants. Purport. The beloved Lord was away from his own prosperous metropolis of Dwarka for the considerably long period because of the battle of Kurukshetra, and thus all the inhabitants were overcome with melancholia due to the separation. When the Lord sits on the earth, his eternal associates also come with him, just as an entourage of the king accompanies him. Such associates of the Lord are eternally liberated souls, and they cannot bear the separation of the Lord even for a moment because of intense affection for the Lord. Thus the inhabitants of the city of Dwarka were in the mood of dejection and expected the arrival of the Lord at any moment. So the heralding sound of the auspicious conch was very encouraging, and apparently the sound pacified their dejection. They were still more aspirant to see the Lord amongst themselves, and all of them became alert to receive him in the befitting manner. These are the signs of spontaneous love of God. Rich.
Api Guru Kramasya Narasona Sunima Dharma Yan Mana Karakanja Sampute Yata Puje Kande Kala Vamsa Utsva Nama. Translation purport by Divine Krishna Prabhupada. The white and fat bowl conch shell being gripped by the hand of Lord Krishna and sounded by him appeared to be reddened by the touch of his transcendental lips. It seemed that a white swan was playing in the stems of red lotus flowers. Purport. The redness of the white conch shell due to the red touch of the Lord is a symbol of spiritual significance. The Lord is all spirit and matter is ignorance of this spiritual existence. Actually, there is nothing like matter in spiritual enlightenment, and this spiritual enlightenment takes place at once by the contact of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. The Lord is present in every particle of all existence, and He can manifest His presence in anyone by ardent love and devotional service to the Lord, or in other words, by spiritual contact with the Lord. Everything becomes spiritually reddened, like the conch shell in the grip of the Lord, and the Paramhamsa, or the supremely intelligent person, plays the part of the ducking swan in the water of spiritual bliss, eternally decorated by the lotus flower of the Lord's feet. Next. Hare Krishna.
Translation by The citizens of Dwarka, having heard that sound which threatens their personified in the material world, begin to run towards him fast, just to have a long desired audience with the Lord, which is the protector of all devotees. Purport. As already explained, the citizens of Dwarka who lived at the time of Lord Krishna's presence, they were all liberated souls who descend. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Oh, I have only time till 4:30.
We are okay till 5. We are okay till 5.
Only because I have another event today.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Hare Ram. Hare Ram. Hare Ram. Ram Ram. Ram Ram. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. After a very busy festival season of Rath Yatras, then after that followed by Janmashtami, Balram Jayantis, we are all finally here today. Welcome. We are seeing many of us together once again. Radheshyam Prabhu and the whole group is here and few others are also here. Thank you. Let's welcome His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu with 3 round enthusiastic.
Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I have been doing the third topic here. So, sorry. Is it coming there? Very good.
Sorry for Don't touch.
So we have 2 topics are completed, 1 and 3.
Yes.
Now there is 2, 4, 5, 6. Which one I should start? This time I'll just make
3 is.
3 is over.
Oh, this one you're saying. Course 3.
Now course 3 is for Gachibowli here. In this, so this is your Gachibowli course.
Yeah. 5 balanced approach. Is it okay?
5 is good? We take a vote. You can take a vote and then which one they want to hear next.
5
We don't see the topic of what is fine.
balanced approach.
approach,
Not working towards extremes.
You take number of votes. You take.
How many are in vote for 5? Number 5?
What are the options for you?
You have 2, 4, 5 and 6.
5.
5?
Just now, you can come here this time. See that?
Okay, how many for 5? Topic 5, lift your hands.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Almost 22 of them. And how many for number 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nobody wants to get up early.
They are already getting up early.
How many for 4? Topic 4? I think 5 wins the race. 5 wins the race. Balanced approach.
And 6.
And 6, how many? Sincerity attracts grace, responsibility comes accountability.
No one.
I don't know what was. It's almost like parliament voting. you decide for it.
No, first one is the maximum, no?
Yeah.
Balance approach.
Yeah.
Okay, we will do. Balance approach, not going towards extreme. We will do that. We'll take another
battery. Ready? Awesome.
So you all had a 3-hour lecture, he told me in the morning, huh?
Some of us.
Some of you. Sorry. And I have all bucket trees are coming together. Some 350 people are coming today. Temple.
Yeah.
They are coming at 5:30. How long it takes to go from here?
1 hour minimum.
1 hour it takes?
1 hour. it takes.
1 hour it takes.
Better to keep 1 hour. 45 minutes, but 1 hour is good.
45 minutes.
40 minutes. Oh. So I think 4:30 I will do, 45 minutes I will do today. Then catch up next time when I come. I will use it later. That's a short difference.
There is 2 different.
So you can do it in the blender?
Yes.
Shortest करता
See, in balance, there are 3 topics in balance itself. One is about the one which we are talking now here, in balance approach, not going towards extremes. As counselors or leaders, we are all guiding. So, extremes is guiding people. We can go for certain extremes. That means sometimes you can take a very you want your counselors to be very serious in spiritual life, you guide. It's called as, you may give a jackpot no sponge solution, we call it. Jackpot no sponge solution. This means sometimes it will boomerang back. Like you, I will give example, I have a skits also for that. That is about balancing in guidance. But another aspect of balancing is your material duties versus spiritual duties. You have your profession, and you have your family, you have your spiritual life, and sometimes there's a tug of war. Which one should be put first, you don't know. It is just things are pulling in different directions and you are unable to prioritize. That is another topic in the balanced approach. And also the balance also means Dharma Sarthaka Kori Kara. Sometimes we take in more, but we are not going out and doing mass preaching. We become like Bhajananandis. Other times we are giving out more, but not sufficiently taking it. So that is also something which requires balanced approach. Correct? So in this way, balance in our sadhana, balance in our swadhyaya. So balance in our sadhana means actually we should do sadhana in such a way that we don't just become only Bhajananandis. We are all Goshtyanandis. This means we are preaching moment. So Balance is required in many things. So we will discuss a little bit today and then we will discuss in detail next time. Jai Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम राम
speak on a topic. It's a very vital topic for devotees. How to be affectionate and not be attached. How to be
Affectionate, not to be.
not be attached. So this topic is very important. Kuntimanani brings up this topic. I also made a PowerPoint. Because this topic is directly connected to balance also. Come. How to be affectionate and not attached. How to be detached but not ours. Is reading one of you? This is Kunti Maharani's. You know, famous words, all of you can repeat that. Ada Vishvesha Vishwatman. Ada Vishvesha Vishwatman. Vishnumurte Svakeshu Me.
Vishnumurte Svakeshu Me.
Megapasha Nimam Chindhi.
Megapasha Nikam Chindi.
Ridham Pandushu Vrishnishu.
Ridham Pandushu Vrishnishu.
Here she is telling, Oh Lord of the universe, Ada Vishvesha, Vishwatman, O soul of the universe. She's saying, and then she's saying, Vishnumurte Svakeshu. You are yourself this universe, you have become, you expanded yourself as this universe. And then she's saying, Sneha Pashanimam Chindi. Why is she saying like this? Because ultimately, you are our only shelter, you are our only protector, you are our only provider, you are our only friend. At the time of death, nobody comes with us, you are the only one who comes with us. So, you being the person closest to our hearts, not only in one lifetime, but in millions of lifetimes. Then, for your sake, we should abandon everything else. And we should surrender to you. Therefore, Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi. Cut off all my materialistic attachments. To whom? Pandushu and Vrishnishu, she said. To my children, the Pandavas, and to Vrishnishu means the Vrishnis. From her father's side and from her husband's side. She has connection to these two families, Pandu family and Vrishni family. Cut off my attachments. Read that purport.
Perfection of pure devotional service is attained when all attention is diverted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. To cut off the tie of all the other affections does not mean complete negation of the final elements, like affection for someone else.
Here comes the point of balance. Sometimes when a person is newly married, some of them, you don't see them. Where are they gone? Till now they are coming for the program regularly. Because husband and wife sometimes come together and say we are planning together to put up the family. We have to get a house, we have to get a car, we have to take a loan, and we go here, go there, relatives are calling and everything, and sometimes 2-3 years after that they again start coming. So they become very materially attached to each other, and then they become very casual about spirituality. Then they don't, some of them may come back, some of them may not come back also very easily. On the other hand, there are some, after marriage, they become very afraid that if I become attached to the spouse, then my spiritual life will decline. So they become very formal with each other and the sweetness in relationship is lost. They become afraid that let the spouse not become a stumbling block in my forward progress in my spiritual life. So then in such a formal family, sometimes there is no prasad, there is no proper mood in the family life. So sometimes one of the spouse who is unhappy may curse even spiritual life. Why is, what kind of family is this? The other person is not seeming to be interested in me. So that is another extreme. Like one of the spouses is all the time in the temple, all the time doing activities, and the other person is feeling, what kind of family is this? If this person is not interested in me, then why the marriage at all? People think like that. That's another extreme. So one is like this pendulum, another side is. So what is the balance? One shouldn't become too attached, one shouldn't become too ours also. and one should be in between. What is that? That is actually explained in 7:14:6. You can read that. I'll just show you. ज्ञातयः पितरौ पुत्रा सुहृदो अपरे. One verse before that. This is the verse. That one is another one. This is another one. This is about intimate relatives. That one is about little distant relatives. यावदर्थम् उपासीनो गेहे गेहे च पंडितः रक्तो रक्तवत्तत्र लोके नरतां न्यसेत्.
While working to earn his livelihood as much as
Translation.
while working to earn his livelihood as much as necessary to maintain body and soul together, one who is actually learned should live in human society, unattached to family affairs, although externally appearing very much attached.
So you should be internally unattached, but externally appearing to be very much attached. What is this? This is what Chaitanya taught Raghunatha. He said, manage your business externally, meditate on Krishna internally. He told it. No? It's called as, he says, Antare Nishtha Bahire Vyavahar. He says. No? Antare. So your Krishna conscious seriousness should be visible where? Where? Inside. Internally you should be serious. That means you should have internal submission to Guru. Internal seriousness about I have to chant very nicely, I have to read very nicely, and all that. Internal. But Bahiri Vyavahar. But externally you should behave just like outside people. The normal people may behave, you should behave like that externally. Then Raghunatha started doing it. Raghunatha started to do business. He also, he made, Raghunatha, he managed the business, he was also making a lot of money, and father became very happy. He is doing business well. Now, you all will see that if a college student becomes serious in Krishna consciousness, parents are happy or not happy?
Not happy.
Because they are concerned about his body. First they want the son to study well, earn a degree, get a job, make good amount of money, give to parents also, and save in the bank also, and get married. Then only they will be peaceful. Because they have their items, what they want to see. And they want the son to bring some great achievements in the material life. And when the boy goes to devotees, they for them achievement means how many rounds you are chanting? No, only one round for 1 year. Okay, increase that. Make it 4, make it 6. If the boy comes to 16 rounds, they are very happy. And then the boy says, I want to stay inside the center. Even more happy. The boy says, I want to assist in preaching and book distribution. They say, most happy. They are most welcome. So devotees always inquire about the soul and parents always inquire about the body. So the boy should talk about what to parents? Body. And when he comes to devotees, what should he talk about? Soul. Then his life is peaceful. That's how a boy can balance both. Because he should know whose need is what. That he should know. Then he can be peaceful. Now what he does generally a student, he goes to parents and tells them how wonderful Krishna consciousness is. Then they will say, you give a bit of applause, we will chant for you. You better study, they say like that. Correct, no? On the other hand, when he comes to devotees, he tells about his activities at home. Devotees are worried, they are watching TV, what are you doing? Why are you also watching TV? Devotees are very worried about his leelas at home. So, therefore, devotees want you to be spiritually serious and parents want you to be materially serious. And one has to balance both, material spirituality. In the same manner, in a family life, a man has wife, his children, he has his mother, father. It's like one family. Now, it's very good that a man may be, going out and preaching and making devotees, conducting classes and everything. At the same time, he has to see that every member of the family gets the due attention. like his mother, father may be very elderly. They may be in one room or a house. They are just watching what our son is doing. Does he come and talk to us? Does he spend some time with us? Does he take us to doctor? Or he tells us to go on our own? And similarly, the wife has her expectations and children have their expectations. Papa has to sit with us and study and all. So then a man feels that, oh, this family has become a great, chain for me. Now I'm not able to freely just go out and preach and expand everything and wife, children, mother, father. It becomes a very big kind of shackle for me, he thinks. But he doesn't know that Bhagavatam says that wife is like a fort for a king. If a king is standing in the middle of the ground, he can be easily a victim of the enemies. They can shoot him or kill him or whatever. But if he's inside the fort, he is protected. So when a man who is married, he will not fall prey to illicit sex with any woman in the world around because he is protected by his wife's protection. And he has his wife, he has his children, he has family. He gets some Swargiya Rasa, we call it. There's a Parthiva Ras, Swargiya Ras, Vaikuntha Ras. 3 rasas. Parthiva Ras means sensory education. Swargiya Ras means emotional support. And Vaikuntha Ras means spiritual bliss. Correct? So before you can attain the spiritual bliss, the one gets the support of emotional support, then in that he is able to keep a family life peaceful. That is why these rules are set here. The rule says here that, the man should be unattached to family internally, but externally he has to do his duties and everything. You should not show any kind of hatred. One should not say, child is calling, okay, come, bring your mathematics, big headache, come here. No. If you say like that, child will say, Papa, you don't like to teach me maths? Maths is a headache for you? Then I won't disturb you. Okay, do whatever you want, I will do my own, they will say. Similarly, there was one husband-wife in those days. The wife came crying. And then the wife was telling, probably this man says he has no interest in me. And he says that, he says I am very unhappy that I should not have married him. So such things he is speaking. And adding to all these things, there is also share on it completely. He is not keeping any hair. Then when I asked him, he said, Prabhu, she expects me to go to party with all type of dresses, wearing different type of. She says, don't dress like this, just like we dress according to the occasion and everything. She says, we have many things. So I put them in touch with one counselor in Pune. Help these people. Because they both, she has some materialist expectations from him, and he has some spiritual expectations from her. So there is a kind of mismatch. So when there is a mismatch, to balance, they have to come like this. So you reduce your spiritual expectations to some degree. You are ready to come to the material side, and this other spouse is ready to come to the spiritual side. So then there is a balance. Then only a family can go peacefully. So otherwise, if one says, you are fallen soul, you are good for nothing, I am here, you are always here, then there is no possibility of uplifting them. That's why the balance is being spoken about. So, like for example, was Kardama Muni attached to his wife or not? We are not only yes or no?
Yes. No, he was not attached.
He was not attached. Then why did he marry Devavati?
On the request of Manu.
He is saying on the request of Manu, he is saying Manu didn't come and request. Manu came later, of course. But why did he marry her?
Because they prayed in the last life for the Lord as their son.
Who? That is of course, that's a background story. But in this life now, he is already mendicant in the forest. He is a Brahmana in the forest performing meditation. And it is said that, Lord was looking at him with a sidelong glance, due to which he was also very healthy. He never became like a Saubramani, skinny and he didn't become. He was healthy also. Plus, it is said Lord came and gave him darshan and Lord cried tears of joy seeing his penances. And that form is Bindu Sarovar, it is said. That means a very great devotee. Then why did he marry? Now if he is not attached to Devavati, who is the daughter of the king of the whole world, then why did he marry? Anybody? All are wondering why you can't marry. That's what everybody is thinking.
Prabhuji, Manu was giving his daughters, right?
No, Manu was giving his daughter 3 days later after he saw Lord Vishnu. But my question is, if he is not attached to her, then why did he marry?
Lord Vishnu asked him to marry.
No, Vishnu didn't tell him to marry.
In fact, he asked.
Vishnu didn't order him that we should marry. Actually, he wanted to marry. Therefore, Vishnu told him that 3rd day from today, the king of the world, Swamamana, will come with his daughter, Devati, and she will hand over her to you. Mother and father, Shatarupa and Sarvabhauma will come. And Lord said, because he actually asked the Lord for spouse. When he is not attached to spouse, then why did he marry? In fact, when both parents came with Devati, he told the parents that I will marry her, but as soon as I give her a son, immediately I will take sannyas. That means he entered marriage with the exit plan. Correct, no? At the time of marriage. Imagine which father will give the daughter to such a man. No? On the day he says, once I give her a son, I will exit, he says. If he is so unattached, one may ask the question, then why did he at all marry? Correct or not? The answer is, he is one of the 10 sons of Brahma, and he was drawn from the shadow of Brahma. And Brahma had told Kadamani that I want you to help me in Prajapati. And then he told Lord Vishnu that my father has entrusted a responsibility to me. And for his pleasure, I want to produce a child. At the same time, I am also concerned that I should not get entangled in family affairs and forget your lotus feet. So, therefore the Lord asked, okay, I understand your point. So, what do you plan? If you want to marry, you can marry. If you want, I can bless you. He said, not only you have to bless me, my Lord, you only have to choose the girl also. Because if you give a girl and she gives problem, I'll come to you tomorrow. Lord thought very intelligent fellow. Lord said, okay, I have chosen a partner for you. Lord said, 3rd day from today. That time he said, you understand that point? So Lord, because he asked for a wife, then Lord gave him a girl. And that is the king's daughter. Now after marrying Devati, anybody knows what he did immediately after marriage? Don't say they went out on some honeymoon and nothing. They didn't go. What they did? Huh? He immediately got into devotional service. Prabhupada compares Devati to Gauri or Parvati Mata because Shiva is sitting under a tree and meditating, whereas Parvati is Parvata Putri. She is very rich. Similarly, Devati is daughter of the king of the world. But here, Kardama is sitting under a tree and doing meditation on the Lord. So Prabhupada is comparing these two couples. Shiva Parvati to Kardama and Devati. And he immediately got into chanting, meditating on the Lord, worshipping and everything. He's got into that. And what do you think Devati was doing? Actually, Devati heard about Kardama from Narada. And she had developed affinity for him, attraction for him. And she thought he's a great soul. By marrying him, I will be spiritually blessed and guided. So therefore, when Kardama told this plan, exit plan at the time of entry, he told whom? He told Swambhamanu. Swambhamanu asked his wife Shatarupa, what do you say? And Shatarupa asked Devavati. And Devavati said, okay, I am alright. After he gives me a son, he can take sannyas. Then mother also said, okay to Swambhamanu. That's the emotional circle. Because if a father decides for the daughter, mother will catch him. Hey, what about me? You are deciding for your daughter? You are going to give her to a man who will exit the home, and you didn't consult me, a wife will make me give on track, right now? So he asked his wife, and that lady asked the daughter. The daughter said, okay. Then she told him. Then Swambhamanu said, okay, my wife and daughter are ready for your condition. I am ready to give. So he handed over his daughter and went away. Now, he wasn't attached to Devati, therefore he immediately got back into his parents again. After a long period of time, they said he looked at his wife, she was completely emaciated. And then one day he took pity on that and said, oh dear wife, look at you, you have become so emaciated by austerities. and you come from a very well-to-do family. I am a person living in the forest, and you had no expectation from it. You served with such attentiveness and affection and kindness and everything. I am very pleased with you. And then he tells a famous verse, Gemi Swadharmanirataha Tapasa Samadhi. That's the verse. Vidyatma Yoga Vijita Bhagavat Prasadaha. He says that whatever Bhagavat Prasad that I got in my life, I am going to share that with you. Why? If a disciple pleases the Guru, then the Guru can uplift the disciple very easily to a very high platform without the disciple having to have performed any kind of great learning or mystic abilities or anything. The disciple's main task is to please the Guru. So you accepted me as a Guru and you pleased me. So he told her, now I will reveal Vaikuntha to you. He revealed the spiritual reality to her. And after that, he asked her, do you have any desires? She said, I have only one desire. You said you will give me a son. So if you give me a son, I'll be most pleased if it pleases you, she said. Then he made that aerial mansion, correct now? He made that aerial mansion and took her devotee to various precious valleys and everything. He gave her 9 daughters first and after gave her the son. So while this pastime was narrated by His Grace Radha Gopinath Prabhu, in one class, after the class one boy asked the question, Prabhuji, thank you very much, this class was very helpful. I am shortly going to get married. He said, should I also make an aerial mansion for my wife and take her all around? Should I take my wife in at least an aeroplane? To different places all across the globe and show her everything. Prabhuji said, before that you do the penance, what? What about that? That he forgot. and then Prabhuji showed him one shloka. In that one shloka it is mentioned, although he took her to various places, he remained always aloof like a drop of water on a lotus leaf. He was completely detached, and that is what is said here. Internally he was completely detached. Externally he created a facility for her, and he got 100 servant maids, bathed her with scented oils and everything, and dressed her very nicely, and they did everything and all. So he gave her that experience of being a daughter of the king of the world. She understood that this is what she has been living in, that kind of situation. So he gave her such facilities. But ultimately, after he gave the Prabhupada says in the purport, after he gave a son, she left the home and took sannyas. But that son, who is the son? Kapila, correct? No? Kapila is who? Lord. Somebody may say, my son only is God, then why to go searching God anywhere else? Me and my wife together will do bhakti. Did he do that? He didn't do that. So he says that he left to teach certain examples for the people of the world, like the Prabhupada writes that. So that goes to show his unattached nature. At the same time, he was not compromising on his responsibility to wife. He was another example, our Srila Prabhupada, when bombs were being thrown in Calcutta, Prabhupada heard the sound. That sound was gone. So why Prabhupada didn't go to Mayapur? Prabhupada told all family members that we all should go to Mayapur now. Because they put a curfew in Calcutta. Japanese are throwing the bombs at the time. But wife refused to go. She said, no, I will be at home only. We are anyway living in a closed house, what's the problem? But then when they put bombs, some houses collapsed also. And Prabhupada sent his 5 sons to Mayapur. And he thought that I can't leave my wife alone and go. It would be considered irresponsibility. Right now, I have to take care of her. So he remained at home. And then he went to the kitchen and he was making kachoris. And he was singing Hare Krishna and making kachoris happily. And then he could hear the sound. So he would hear that. Was he frightened? No. He was all the while smiling and making kachoris. Prabhupada says, in case a bomb dropped on our house and we died, Prabhupada says, there is no worry because I am chanting Hare Krishna. In case no bomb was dropped, I will offer kachori to Krishna and eat kachoris. Either way, I am peaceful. So, in this way, he was Krishna conscious and simultaneously responsible for taking care of wife also. So, no husband can say that I am so Krishna conscious that I don't care for the family. That not that. Then that will be a disturbed family. So I told you about two examples, Tardamani and Srila Prabhupada. Both were responsible for their wives and family. At the same time, they were not compromising on their spiritual consciousness. That's very important. One time, in Pune, long before 90s, one yatra went. In that yatra, there was a pond where, initially the brahmachari boys and all of them, Grihastha men and all took part and everything. Later on, there was another side of the pond there, Mataji was supposed to get ready. So Mataji was waiting, when the men go, then they can take part. So the leader of the yatra had told a group of two men, he called to some Grihastha men and said, suppose all of you both wait little away from the pond, then they will all take bath and come. And you have to escort them, to the buses, because buses cannot go there. It's a little remote place, lot of trees and everything there. So you escort them to the buses and bring, because it's getting a little dark, it's already 6 o'clock, it's getting dark. So these two men were there. But then, these two men were getting a lot of phone calls from their friends and everything. They were asking, where are you? And they said, we have been given the seva of taking care of the Mataji and the waiting. And there other men were joking. Hey, what is this? You guys are attached to Mataji, something like that. You are hanging around with them. We men have come and you are hanging around there and then everything. So they felt ashamed and they left the place and entered. And then it became really dark. And when the women all came out of water and they dressed and everything, it was very dark. And they had to walk almost 1 kilometer, not 1 kilometer, maybe half a kilometer. They had to walk to the buses. When they are coming out of the water, some rowdies are making noise, whistling, because they are seeing so many women are coming out. Fortunately, there was one stout and strong Mataji. She was like Bhadrakali. She was walking in the front. If any rowdy would whistle, better she would say, and rowdy would run away. And she told everybody, all of you walk behind me, and she brought them. There were probably 15-20 of them. They could come, they go to the bus. Later on, these ladies, they complained to the management. The management trusted those two fellows. They said, see, you are Grihastha, you already have grown up son and daughters. And therefore we have fixed you two men to take care of the ladies. You guys are so irresponsible fellows. We made a mistake in fixing you. Your responsibility bringing the Matajis is not a sign of your attachment. You are given that service. You are supposed to do that. You are supposed to escort them to the buses and then come. And you foolishly you walked away. So this is the point. Nanda is saying that you should actually, externally one has to fulfill all the duties, but one should not get buried in material attachments. Like the verse says, Tehapatyakalatra atmasainyeshu asatsvapi tesham pravatto nidhanam Pashyanapi na pashyati. In that series of verses it says that, Nidraya hriyate raktam vyavaye chana bhavayah divachate haya rajan kutumba paranena va. This verse says that a man who is grihameti or attached householder, the daytime he works hard to make money and increase his bank balance. The night he spends time in sleep or sex. In this way he spends away his valuable human form of life without understanding the meaning and purpose of life and goal of life. Neither does he practice spiritual life himself, nor does he guide his wife and children. He is simply called as a Medi. Medi means a stick around which the bull goes round and round. You have seen that? Kolluka oil we call it. That extracts oil, you have seen that it goes around.
Ganuga, Telugu we say Ganuga.
Correct. So that this man is like that. Why? Because for him home is the center. And instead of going to meet the Lord and the devotees and take association and take part in spiritual activities, there are many people who spend time like Ragamatis making home the center. He appears to be very responsible, but he is attached to householder. Why? Because when they all grow old and die, they don't know where are they going. They will all get separated. He will go to some other family, she will go to some other family, children go to another family. At the time of death, when the day comes, our account will be checked. How much punya, how much pap, how much bhakti sudhati you did. That will be checked. So this man, in this way, he fools himself and fools his family members. because of the material attachment. So that such a material attachment is condemned. Correct, no? On the other hand, somebody is man is responsible for his family. That's appreciated actually. I told you examples for that. The man is responsible. At the same time, he is responsible, affectionate. What's the meaning of affectionate? He knows actually that these souls are put in my custody. And it is my duty to take care of them by responsibly guiding them in the Krishna consciousness so that at the end of life they also attain perfection. Guru nasasyat, Svajaro nasasyat, Pita nasasyat, Janani nasasyat, Daivam natasyat, Napadishya sasyat, Namochayete sampeta mrityum delivers. If you are not able to deliver your dependence, you are not fit to become a guru, or you are not fit to become a relative, or a mother, or a husband, or a guru, or a teacher, or devata. Everybody has some dependents below them. Those dependents should be protected and guided. Like Rishabhdev is guiding his 100 sons. Suniti Mata, she is guiding her son Dhruva. So these are perfect authorities. Perfect authority means mother or father, they have the duty to guide their dependents. When they guide their dependents in the Krishna conscious direction, and then dependent takes to Krishna conscious or not, that is not your worry. You should guide them. That's our duty. Correct, no? So that will, in that way, that's what I say. Now I want to show you one notes. Let's see. Okay, we have. Prabhuji, you can read the difference, affection and attachment. So one side you read, he will read the other side. No, you say affection, he will say attachment. Say affection.
Affection.
You say.
Attachment.
Yeah.
Service oriented.
Possessive.
Encourages Krishna consciousness.
Weakens Krishna consciousness.
Brings peace.
Brings fear, lamentation.
Example is Arjuna caring for Krishna's mission.
Example, Arjuna refusing to fight due to bodily ties.
Correct, no? And this is spiritual love and that is material training. Now these are very deep points, but I have given more examples that will make it very easy for you. No? Yeah. Real application you can say. Okay, real application for devotees. Towards spouse you can read for
Yeah. Towards spouse, be caring, cooperative, Krishna-centered in relationship. Second, avoid over-dependence that displaces Krishna from the center.
Yeah.
Towards children, affection means educating them in spiritual values. Attachment means being absorbed only in their material senses.
Towards job and wealth. Affection means using them for Krishna's service. Attachment means identifying self-worth with them.
So this is also again concept. I have given examples. You will see examples will become very clear now. You see towards spouse, read that.
Towards spouse, affection Krishna centered. Husband helping her wife with household chores so she can also get time for her japa and reading.
Here's a practical example. If a husband and wife are both Krishna conscious, husband says, I will get subject, not worry, you go and do your japa. Yeah. And then wife?
Wife reminding husband lovingly, did you complete your 16 rounds? Or shall we attend today's Srimad Bhagavatam class together? Third point, consulting each other about family decisions by keeping Krishna at the center. If we shift to this new job location, will it help or hinder our service and sadhana?
Correct, no? That means here husband and wife both are thinking about how our service will go, how our sadhana will go. If we go there, we may make more money, but we will not have devotee association. Correct, no? This kind of, so this is how husband and wife are actually like friends, spiritual friends. They are helping one another, Yeah, and then attachment.
Attachment, binding. Mahabharata, Dhritarashtra blind attachment to son led to destruction.
Yeah.
Becoming upset if spouse cannot give constant attention and neglecting chanting due to the emotional.
This is one big problem with some people. They demand too much attention. Like there is psychology where sometimes if there are two people are friends, A and B. Now A is friends with B, it's all right. But A will tell B that you should not show affection to anybody else except me only. very possessive. You know, you are talking so, you are talking so, you are not giving time to me, very demanding. Some people want constant attention, pampering. They call it a pampering, they want pampering. And then they will say that because you didn't give me attention today, I am not chanting my rounds now.
Making spiritual compromises.
Similarly, sometimes there was one husband who was materialistic and wife was a devotee. The wife told, see, I will chant my rounds and all and I won't disturb you. You don't have to come to temple and chant. It's up to you. But the husband says, when I am watching TV, you have to give me company. And you are watching all kinds of stuff and she is not interested in that. So then these fellows are overly dependent on wife. Then the lot of pull and push happens like that. Correct? Emotional dependency on the other. Yeah. And then?
Making spiritual compromises just to keep the spouse materially pleased. Example, skipping temple services because my wife or husband wants more leisure time.
Actually, sometimes even as counselors, they tell their counseling that you should have some leisure time with family. Don't do too much service. But that is told for those who do too much service. But taking that instruction given to that specific person, everybody else follows that very carefully. Other people say, no, Prabhuji told him, I saw him say, careful, Uncle Leisure. Leisure means whole, all 7 days leisure. They don't do it. See, one man's food is another man's. That fellow is working so hard, he is to, like I used to tell Iran and his good wife that you have to please take some time for yourself. You know, you and your children also, your life is so busy. But you can't say the same thing to everybody. Already somebody is lazy, you tell him this instruction. What will happen? Yes.
Equating one's happiness only with the spouse mood swings instead of taking shelter of Krishna.
Some people are too much spouse-driven, spouse-centered. If the spouse is undergoing a mood swing, then they will also accordingly swing. I spent the Diwali bonus for buying this, my wife is upset. Now I didn't buy sari for her, she's very upset, I don't know what she's going to do with me. I hope you should be merciful to me. Wholly dependent. Actually, if you spiritually are advanced, you will be respected.
Towards children, affection, spiritual love, Bhagavatam. Prahlad prayed for father's liberation. Parents read Krishna book at bedtime.
With the children, correct? Yeah.
Birthdays celebrated with prasadam distribution and gifting Bhagavad Gita.
Like if your son or daughter has a birthday, you can call, all the friends and everybody. You can, new people are coming, you can give them Bhagavad Gita and you can also cook nice prasad and distribute. And then?
Parents rejoice more when child sings bhajans than when they score high marks.
Because, they may score high marks, they may not, but that's not your only criteria. You are very happy if the child is a devotee. Then?
Mahabharata. Bhishma attachment to Kuru throne made him torment Droncha. Duryodhan sins.
Yeah. That means when Bhishma saw Duryodhana doing so many things, he could not correct him. Correct, no? Because he wanted to continue in the throne as supporting the ruling party. So he couldn't control. Yeah. And then?
Parents pushed child into IIT, high-paying jobs for prestige.
Many parents say that, better you work 16 hours also no problem, as long as people respect us. They want, like one parent was telling me, they were pushing their son to go abroad. He was the only son. But after he went abroad, in the early years they were very proud because all relatives were very happy. But when they grew beyond 75, 80, they wanted the son back to India. But by the time son was married, he has 2, 3 children, and they don't want to leave America and come. He is telling, how can I leave my family and come? You come there. But are the parents ready to go there? They don't want to go there and they don't want to come here, and they're separated. Now the parents are lamenting in their old age. For us, he's sending dollar notes. What can we do with that? We want his personal time, which he's not able to give. So they were cursing themselves that in the early days we were very much proud of seeing that our son is abroad and everything. So sometimes they lament later. Yeah, then?
Comparing children, see Sharmaji's son scored 98%.
You got only 96%. See, you got 90%. In this way, they're always thinking materially. They see things from a material point of view. Some people celebrate birthdays in a very gorgeous way for their children. Like in one family, they were celebrating birthday of one of the daughters. She's a teenage daughter. And so much balloons with the home and everything. Very gorgeous, just like a fairy, who was descended from heaven or something. 2 costly dress and 2 costly feasts and everything. And also sometimes they do it in photos also outside, materialistic environment. Actually, they are all devotees. Devotee has to make it as devotional as possible. So, they may take photos and this and that, everything, but then what are you doing for Krishna? Where is the relationship? You have to do something in relation to Krishna, nothing in relation to Krishna, just parties. Yeah. Really?
Towards job and work, affection, Krishna center, working sincerely at office but keeping time for chanting, reading and seva fixed and non-negotiable.
Yeah. This is very important towards your profession and money. So you are working sincerely in the office. At the same time, you also take care that chanting, reading and all these things are not compromised. You are pakka in the morning program. Therefore I always say morning for Krishna, later for profession, evening for family. Make some plan like that. And some of the evenings you go for preaching. Evening family doesn't mean you have to be at home only. You can take the whole family out for a program also. Correct, no? You can go to some program together. If a husband and wife and children together for some program, they feel happy also. They are going in the same car together, talking, chatting, come back, they enjoy. Because enjoyment is not just sitting at home only. Yeah.
Using salaries for supporting temple projects, book distribution or prasada programs, not just personal luxury.
Yeah. In case you had increment in salary, it's not that you have to always go on buying more and more and more. You can also spend some more money for, okay, let me give for prasada, let me give for distribution. One has to be charitable. Then
Maintaining honesty and integrity at work, even if it means lower promotion.
Yeah. Not trying to get money by shortcuts. Because if you do that, tomorrow ISKCON will get a bad name. They will say, hey, he was a ISKCON devotee, kya karta? Because they will say, they bring bad name. One should not take shortcuts, cheating. And then?
Seeing job as a service platform, example sharing prasada with colleagues, introducing Bhagavad Gita and company.
Yeah. That means the company also lunchtime, you give prasadam to your colleagues, give them Prabhupada's book, invite them to temple and things like that. That means seeing the job as an opportunity for expanding service, Krishna conscious services. An attachment, give an example.
Attachment, binding, Mahabharata, Karna, attached to Duryodhana's wealth, fought against Krishna's plan.
Attached, he didn't attack. He was attached.
Attached to,
because they were the friends, now he attacked the friend. Karna attached to Duryodhana's wealth and fought against Krishna's plan. Actually, Duryodhana made Karna king of Bangladesh, correct? No? Therefore, he became attached to Duryodhana. Ultimately, Duryodhana and Karna both got destroyed. Correct? No? Yeah.
thinking, if I lose this job, my life is finished. Instead of Krishna is my maintenance.
See, these days layoffs are there. So one should always keep saving money and cutting costs and be prepared for the inevitability in case it comes. We don't want it to come, but be prepared in case there's a loss of job. Then one should think, okay, let's look for another better job. And one shouldn't get completely, shattered and broken down and depressed. If one has faith that Krishna is the maintenance, one will not become like that. Next.
Measuring self-worth only by salary, designation, or appraisal.
Some people become devotees, they wear tilak, kantimala, everything comes, but I always think that I got a promotion here, I got this designation, and all these things, they actually don't relish spiritual life. They relish their material success much more than, like sometimes in our student centers also, once when boys got placed in their final year, they put a big photo of the boys. Persistent, cognizant, ignorant, saying all the names there. different names. One got it in Microsoft, one got it in Infosys, all the big photos. And those boys are, Prabhuji, I got into this company, Prabhu, They are like, they got appointment order with the salary, this thing and everything. On the other hand, when you ask them, in spiritual life, what did you do? They will actually, they have nothing much to say. That means they delight in material success, but when you ask about spiritual, activities, they are not very enthusiastic. That's not a good sign. On the other hand, somebody says, Prabhu, we enter Harinam Sankirtan. Prabhu, we distributed so many books. Prabhu, we got one more opportunity. That college also is my language. Like that, one is very enthusiastic. That is something very wanted. Then?
Working overtime unnecessarily for more money at the cost of family, sadhana and all.
There are people who do that. There was one man, they asked him, you want to get initiated this time? He said, okay. If you people want to put my name, I am ready. And then he said, we got initiated. But after the 3 months, he didn't come. He asked, hey, why you are not coming? What happened? He said, what to do? I have to take my daughter for Bharatanatyam. I have to take my son for swimming. And I am, by the way, doing one more job nowadays because my son is going to go to the US. I have to make more money now. So that means, at the cost of family, sadhana and health, one may become this thing. One may. So I sent this notes to Vilan Prabhu. It's getting late now for me also. I have to leave now. I can put it in the chat, Prabhu. Devotees can regularly go through it. Both I put this also. Yeah. So, how to be attachment, this was one thing. Okay, drag drop it in your. Okay, I'll put it here.
Yeah.
So, you'll pass it on to them. This is one note which is a doc file. One more PPT also I showed, no? That also I can put out. What was that? It was, so on I think 7th September or 10th September? 7th September is Bhadra Purnima. Bhadra Purnima actually all over the world, all temples are distributing like anything. They are working very hard. In Pune, we have taken, NVCC has taken 1500 sets by going to distribute. And then camp we are distributing 1000. In Hyderabad I am yet to check how much they are distributing. And here, you all have taken how much? 500, yeah. So, our Vaisheshika Prabhu and Bhima Prabhu have repeatedly sent mails with a lot of. I sent you also some things I forwarded. Whether my posters and everything you got now?
Yeah, another place.
You can send to all of them. You see, as much as we are, practicing Krishna consciousness in terms of chanting, mindful and everything, we have equal amount of responsibility to take this mission now, of this ISKCON's Prachar activity through the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada many times said, what can your 3-minute lecture do? But if you reach this Bhagavatam, it's a very great service. So, what I am doing, if somebody takes one Bhagavatam set, I am ready to go to them for 5 minutes on Zoom for the family. They will introduce the family and I will give them 1 or 2 instructions from Bhagavatam. And if they take 2 Bhagavatam sets, then 10 minutes. Okay. And then if they take 4 Bhagavatam sets, then half an hour like that. If they take 8 Bhagavatam sets, 1 hour. As I told them. So, because I am not able to personally travel to homes nowadays, because number of programs have increased a lot now. I am going to US also on Monday. Yeah. Monday I went to US and one reference I will to US now. So, but definitely it's a very important vital duty. Every one of you, like we have 500 sets, like your community has about 300 devotees. Right? 300 devotees. Each devotee distributes 2 Bhagavatam sets. How much it will be? 6. Then your target will be met. 2 sets is not a big deal. So, Subbarao in those days was telling me that during the COVID time he connected with all his blood relatives, right now. And then he started reading the Bhagavatam and then he sent Bhagavatam to all those relatives also. So, similarly there is a Mataji in Delhi, she also in the COVID time started Bhagavatam classes online And then many people loved the Bhagavatam because one past time she would explain with a lot of things. So eventually she got like 600, 700 people joining. And she also distributed 500 sets. After almost 6 to 8 months of online programs like that. You all have to come up with some idea by which we reach the Bhagavatam sets. We should think that this is like a Guru Seva or our Acharya Seva because it's Acharya's very ardent desire that we have to reach this message. I am also making a video today. It will be released tomorrow, I think, right now. Yeah, it will be released tomorrow. Short video about 18 minutes about why we should distribute this Bhagavatam, what is so special about Bhagavatam. Please do your best, okay? Thank you, Prabhupada ki jai.
Radheshyam Prabhu ki jai.
So one aspect we saw today, balance between spiritual versus material beauty. Correct, no? The next time when I come, we will also talk about balance between taking in and giving out in terms of swadhyaya and prachar. Then we can also talk about, taking in terms of chanting and purifying our heart versus doing service. So these kind of things we will talk more.
Prabhupada.